This is Precious Paul, the living doll, the master of disaster, the master blaster. From 8 to 80, the precious one drives them crazy. Give me back my pro wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
For those who don't know now, you know, baby. This is Hot Rod Biggs, Jared, Jimmy Street. We're going to take them to the limit one more time, baby, right here on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one more time to the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast, and I am here, as always, with my brother from the same father and mother, the Plastic Sheik, Jared Street. What's up, Sheik? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. Don't forget, though, I brought a little charisma with me.
Oh, yeah, that is right. The Territory Wrestling Guru, co-host with the Mo host, and host of This Month in Wrestling History with Quinton Quarisma. What is up, Q? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Doing great, brother.
Yeah, doing good. I know I am excited, guys. Paul Ellering is here today, guys. This is a Mt Rushmore guest.
Pinch myself moment.
Yeah, can anyone explain what's happening here? Like, I don't get it.
I think we may have entered the Twilight Zone or something.
Yeah, maybe. What do you think, Q? What's going on?
I don't know, man. It's when you told we could have Paul Ellering, I was like, wow, that's we getting the big time, man. We up there now.
I mean, we're trying, right? You know?
Yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just nuts to me to think like we had Ted Arcidi. I never thought I'd ever talk to him. And then boom, it happens. And then we have Living Insanity, the last episode. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But man, oh man, that happened. And now my homie Nick from Captain's Corner, gotta love him, Portland at Wrestling Expo 2, you know, he comes to me and he says, hey, brother, I can't get you this guy this week, but I've got you this guy who loves you. And I just didn't even know how to act. And yeah, so it's Paul Ellering. And of course, y'all, he's going to be Saturday, February 21st, Holiday Inn Portland Airport, 8439 Northeast Columbia Court, Portland, Oregon. Sheik, we're talking to our little Rimco guy today.
I know, man. I know we can't have Hawk and Animal, but man, this is a great get. You know, he was, you know, it's been described as like a true manager of them. He managed, helped manage finances, payments, dates, days off. I mean, just everything. And that's going to be interesting to hear a little bit about.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to get to talk to him. But before we get to the precious one, we've got a few items of business to talk about here. Now, obviously, the last episode, y'all, huge passion project for myself. The Living Insanity episode. Max Payne is awesome. I don't want to let this out too much, but obviously if y'all listen to the full episode, you got to hear for the very first time a Living Insanity song, and that one was called Again. I hope y'all enjoyed that. You know, we just greatly appreciate Max for coming on and telling his story, and we appreciate them for making the music. So thank you all. Hope you all enjoyed that one. To continue on, we have NWA Solder Days on the @GMBMPW YouTube channel. Of course, that's going through February 7th, 2026. So keep an eye on that as well. Hope y'all enjoy that. One other thing before we get to our guest of the show today, I want to tell you all about an upcoming event. It's called Gideon's Warriors, a night of pro wrestling stories and testimony of God's grace and mercy. It's going to have our buddy, former guests of the show, Rick Reynolds, Shane Morton, Ben Jordan, and Sean Schultz, all there. And that's going to be Sunday, January 18th, 2026 at 7 p.m. at His House Ministries, 4909 Highway 43, Summertown, Tennessee. Y'all, if you want to hear some good stories and honestly just feel good and hear some good news about what can happen for you in your life, I highly recommend y'all checking out Gideon's Warriors. What do y'all think about this coming up?
think it'll be great. You got some incredible guys there. You mentioned, and it'll be giving God all the glory, and it'll be telling what He can do for your life as well.
There you go.
I think it's great. Actually, I'd want to hear hear everybody's testimony and then the actual wrestling stories.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm kind of right there with you, man. Yeah, that'd be very good. Y'all go check out Gideon's Warriors. You'll be hearing that commercial until the event happens. And we just got to thank our good buddy Rick Reynolds, aka Forsaken. So that is all I have, y'all. Do you all have anything before we get to Precious Paul Ellering?
I'm ready for it.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be right back with the one and only Precious Paul Ellering after these messages. Gideon's Warriors, a night of pro wrestling stories and testimony of God's grace and mercy. Come hear Pastor Rick Reynolds, who you may know as Damien or Forsaken, Shane Morton, Ben Jordan, and Tommy Phillips, aka Sean Schultz, as they share their experiences in pro wrestling and their personal walks with God. It's all going to be on Sunday, January 18th, 2026 at 7 p.m. at His House Ministries, 4909 Highway 43, Summertown, Tennessee. Everyone is welcome. Do not miss this one-time event.
Hey, this is Pastor Rick Reynolds of His House Ministries in Summertown, Tennessee. I'd like to do a personal invitation to everyone to come see us on January 18th, 2026 at 7 o'clock.
Hey, my name is Tammy Reynolds. I am the wife of Forsaken, Rick Reynolds, that super cool guy that everybody knows and loves. And I represent West Side Sauces. I make sauces, I bottle them, I seal them, I sell them. I have a hot honey sauce, I have a sweet sauce, I have a hot sauce, I have a white sauce that's so yummy you can use it on everything. They are absolutely amazing and I'm so proud of them. We make them from scratch. So go on our website, westsidesauces.com, check out our products, read about our story, and go online and order you some of these yummy sauces. And Rick actually uses all of the sauces because he is a die-hard smoker and griller, and so he likes really good sauces and rubs, and I make them, so how convenient is that for him? Go on our website, westsidesauces.com, order you some samples, and I think you'll thoroughly enjoy them. Thank you guys. Be blessed.
All right, we are back with more from the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast. And guys, we have an incredible show today. I just can't even imagine how to say this, but we have the one and only Precious Paul Ellering on the show. Sir, thank you so much for coming on. It is an absolute honor.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
Good, good.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, we got to start off with this. Obviously, we're going to have you at the Portland Wrestling Expo Saturday, February 21st, Holiday Inn Portland Airport, 8439 Northeast Columbia Court, Portland, Oregon. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure you're excited for that.
Looking forward to it. I really enjoyed my time in Portland. I wasn't there that long, about a month, and had an injury and had to get that taken care of. But met a lot of great people there. Don Owens, the promoter, and Lynn Denton, Stan Stasiak, Sandy Barr, Colonel De Beers, many legends in the sport.
Absolutely. And honestly, I know they're excited as much as you're excited to see them, they're excited to see you. We can't wait to hear more about that when that happens. Jared, my brother, he takes over the first question for us. Go ahead, Sheik. Take it away.
Okay, Paul. So if you had a list of people you either work with a business somehow or you enjoyed watching at some point in your life or whatever, and you had a Mount Rushmore, like 4 or 5 names on a list, Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling for you, who would that be?
Tag teams or singles?
Whatever you want.
Well, we'll do tag teams.
Okay. We love tag teams, so that's great.
for sure, the Road Warriors are number one.
Absolutely.
I mean, they just have to.
No question.
Because they are number one. They were the greatest team of their time and are still the greatest tag team of all time.
Amen.
And then I'd have to put probably the Rock and Roll Express.
Oh, man.
Yes. They were very good. Usually tag teams were, it was more of a Southern phenomenon than a Northern deal. Tag teams just seemed to thrive in the South more. After that, I'd have to put the Four Horsemen in there for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And probably, let me think. I'd have to put, let's do, what the heck was their name? IRS. That's
okay. Yeah.
Money Incorporated. Money
IRS.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a great list. No arguments from me.
So that's four. Yep.
Yeah.
If you got a fifth one for us, or are you good?
Well, I'd have to say, going back to old school, Pat Patterson and Ray Stevens.
Oh, yeah. Good team.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Ellering. So in 1978 and 79, you were up in the AWA, and you just mentioned Pat Patterson and Ray Stevens. I noticed you worked a few matches with them, and then after that, you worked a pretty long feud with Jesse Ventura. Do you got any memories of working all those guys?
Well, it was, I just broke in. I broke in the Christmas of 78. And so, the first couple of years is just a learning experience. But the amount of talent that always gravitated to the AWA was very high because it was the only territory where you could get some time off. Otherwise, you go south or even out west, you wrestle every day for a month. It's not unusual back at that time. And with the AWA, because of the distance and the size of the territory, you'd always get a few days off, and that was nice. So I got to learn from the best, and it was old school back then. It was old school yet, and new school. I want to post the Road Warriors for that because in '83 when they came in, they just completely changed the style of wrestling. It went from working a hold and old school to slam bam in your face, man. Power slam, power moves. It really revolutionized the sport from that point on.
Yeah,
I think that's the first person I ever seen do a clothesline when I saw them on Georgia TV, and that was the first time I ever seen a clothesline.
Yeah. Hawk would do it off the top turnbuckle, and he never batted, and he never had a question whether he was going to do it or not. He said, "I'm the Hawk." I'm going to do it.
There you go. That's good.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. December of 79, you actually show up in Memphis. How did you end up there?
Well, I stayed when I first broke in. Vern kept me in the territory for about 4 months, and then he just wanted me to get more training, more repetitions. So he sent me to Memphis, and I stayed there for I think it was a year. Was that when Lawler broke his leg then?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that was it. Then I became the champion. Jimmy Hart managed me, and I was the champ for a year till Lawler came back. Then I went to Florida. Then I went to Louisiana. Then I went to Portland, back to Louisiana. And then Ole calls me up after about 6 months off because of my surgery and says, "Ready to get back to work, kid?" And I said, I guess so. I've been training. So he says, "Okay, come on in." So then I went to Georgia, and then eventually managed, and the Road Warriors came in there.
Oh, yes. And I got one question before we get to them here really quick, because this is a very important question. What were your thoughts in Memphis when they told you that you were going to be the new king?
Well, it was a tremendous break because many times you'd have to work for 3 years, sometimes 5, before you'd get a break in the business.
Yeah.
And so at that point, but Memphis was, they were like the extreme of wrestling back in that day. They would do. They were not afraid to take chances, and with Jimmy at my side, heck, we had a heck of a run.
Yeah.
And even then, Jerry Jarrett, the last time I saw him, he said to me, when Lawler broke his leg, you saved our territory. And I said, geez, Jerry, it wasn't that bad. And he said, no, without you, it would have really been hard. So that made me feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. No joke.
Yeah.
So bringing up Hawk and Animal, the greatest tag team of all time.
Yep.
What were they? What were they like when you first met them?
Well, Hawk was very talkative. Animal was more reserved. And I remember they came to TV, and then Ole says, okay, I'm going to put these 2 guys with you, the 2 Minnesota boys, so take care of them and make sure they don't get in trouble. Well, that was easier said than done. So I loaded him in my black van. I took him to the airport, and it was like 100 degrees. And I parked as far away as I possibly could. And back then, you didn't have these cart luggages like they do now.
Yeah.
You had regular suitcases. They had these 2 big suitcases. And I parked as far away as I could just to get their reaction. They were cussing and swearing and sweating up a storm walking to the airport. And then on the airplane, then after we got off, then we get in a rent car and we drive to Huntington, West Virginia. And Hawk says to me, you're a pretty good guy. Yeah, you're a good guy. And I said, Hawk, if you can say that a year from now, it'll mean a lot more. It was just the way it was, because he was real talky, but it just set the table for us respecting each other, and then we grew as a unit, and we eventually became like 3 musketeers, all for one and one for all, and I always say Animal, he was the engine of the Road Warriors, of the Legion of Doom, and Hawk was the whistle, because Hawk could talk, and he was loud. And I said, with that train, and I was lucky enough to where I became the conductor.
Yeah.
So I just conducted it, and everybody did what they had to do, and it was a great deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So after being in Georgia, obviously, for a while in 1983, they put you with the Road Warriors. Jake Roberts and Buzz Sawyer with you. I guess that was Ole's idea to put you all together.
Well, the deal was I had Jake first. No, I had Buzz first.
Right.
Then Jake. Then the spoiler, Don Jardine.
Oh yeah.
And then I had Arn Anderson and Matt Bourne. They were the tag team. So I was managing that whole unit. And Matt Bourne got himself into some trouble, and he left suddenly. And so Arn was without a tag team partner, but it made sense with him to go to Ole and work that out.
Yeah.
So he went up to Minneapolis and talked to Eddie Sharkey, who had a camp going on at the time, to see if he had any guys that he could use. And he eventually settled on Mike and Joe, Animal and Hawk, and brought them in the next weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. So they became the new tag team then.
Yeah.
That I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when eventually you guys would leave Georgia and go to the AWA, how did y'all end up there? Just previous ties to the area, or?
Well, that was it. Yeah. I said to the guys, we'd been on TV for a year, maybe a year and a half, 2, and I said we can always come back and just get on TV again because cable TV was spreading across the country, and that was creating a boom. It was like a rebirth of wrestling. Because people could get cable and compare their local product to cable TV.
Yeah.
And that started the revolution in wrestling in the early 80s. Plus, you had Ronald Reagan coming in as president after 10 years of Carter. And Reagan was, he was going to get things up and running, and he did.
Yeah.
And the economy took off, and wrestling took off, and Turner spread cable all across the country, and it gave us exposure. But I said to the guys, we can, you're from Minnesota, I'm from Minnesota. I said, I can call Vern up, and we can go up there and work out of there, still work out of here, and we'll just book ourselves. We won't sign any contracts. So we ended up working for Puerto Rico. We worked for Jarrett. We worked for Von Erichs. We worked for Watts. We worked for Crockett. And the only one we didn't work for was WWF at the time. But Vince didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then we'd work for Don Owens. We just went everywhere. I'd handle all the money. We'd sit down with a calendar a month ahead, and I just say, okay, what days do you want off? And they give me those days off, and then I just book the rest.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. You're listening to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Captain's Corner is bracing for a big close to 2025 featuring Glory Days GrappleCon 3 on Saturday, October 25th. Glory Days GrappleCon 3 invades the Hilton Garden Inn in beautiful Lutz, Florida, featuring the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, Abdul the Butcher, Barry Windham, Dory Funk Jr., and many more. This will be one of the biggest assemblance of legends to ever hit the Gulf Coast. Then, as the year closes, we focus on the Portland Wrestling Expo 2. Returning to the Holiday Inn Portland Airport on February 21st, PWE 2 will feature Ken Patera, the Grappler, Gorgeous Joey Jackson, Scott Norton, and over a dozen other stars of the past, present, and future of the Pacific Northwest. Make sure to head on over to Captain's Corner on Facebook and Instagram for full details on both those shows and all of our other signings. Cheers to the working man.
I would be remiss not to bring it up. They call me the Plastic Sheik because I collect wrestling action figures.
Action figure.
And so some of the first, probably the reason they called me this is because the first wrestling action figures I had were the AWA Remco Road Warriors and Paul Ellering set. That was.
I'll be done.
Do you have any memories? Do you have any memories of that?
That's worth some money now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any memories of those figures or the discussions?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah. Now they got a lot of different companies, but back then, Vern brought in Remco, and they were the first ones to do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've got your new figure coming out with the major guys. I've got that on pre-order, so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be good.
It's so cool to me about the Remcos because they set up against He-Man, and we could actually have Road Warrior and Hawk beat the crap out of He-Man. You know what I mean?
That's funny. Yeah, Hawk, he would always watch He-Man.
Yeah, really?
He loved He-Man.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. And he'd make it up as he'd go. He'd just be sitting in the back, or he usually sat in the back. I sat in a passenger and animal. He liked to drive. So I made a deal. Okay, you drive during the day because I like to read books, and I'll drive at night. So that's what we did. But Hawk he'd just sit in the back, and all out of the blue, he'd go, "Meanwhile, back at the Legion of Doom," and like they would on He-Man.
Yeah.
And he'd make up a story, And the Iron Sheik, he'd do this, and and he just it was really funny.
Man, to have recordings of that would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, that was a no-no, right? Though you don't record in the car. That's their only private time, really. So,
Thank God we didn't have phones.
right. Yeah.
All right. So, talk to us about the scaffold match you had with the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette at Starrcade '86, Night of the Skywalkers. So, how did that come about? And were y'all guys on board when they first told you about the scaffold match?
Well, we were, because we had an idea what the outcome was going to be, and it wasn't going to be us. So we didn't mind. Now, you have to ask the Midnight Express. They probably had a different view of it.
I think Jim minded some. I'm not positive.
Yeah. Well, he ended up paying for it.
Oh yeah,
he sure did.
He blew his knee out.
Yeah.
All right, so Ron, when you y'all got going and everything, you were doing the managing and wrestling, and then it seemed like you just transitioned into the manager with occasional 6-man. So what was the reason why you pretty much just stuck to managing? Did you get injured, or how did that come about?
Well, my left knee, I ruptured my patella tendon 2 times.
Ooh.
First time was in New Orleans against Paul Ellering. And, you have to surgically replace that or, put it back together. And it takes 7-8 months for a tendon, because that tendon's as big as your thumb, and it holds everything from your kneecap to the bottom part of your leg. So it has to be done. And then when I built it back up, got in, was still always training. I just did upper body, and I came back. I came back with the first time I tore it out was with Robert Gibson in Columbus, Georgia. I threw him in for a scoop slam, and I turned and pivoted, and when I made the pivot, the knee just blew out. So I just rolled out of the ring, and they helped me back to the dressing room, and that was it. Then I went back to Shreveport, because that's where my wife was at the time. And then I was back 1 week. I was working for Watts, and that's when I did it with Paul Ellering. It just blew out again. So then I was out a whole year.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but I had a premonition dream one time that going through wrestling camp and being around different characters and stuff, that my forte in the wrestling business was going to be as a manager.
Oh man.
Yeah, a premonition dream. So when Ole said, maybe we should just give the knee a little bit more time, when he called me up and brought me in, then he said, you're really good on the mic. He said, did you ever think about being a manager? And then the light just went off. Yeah, I had a dream that I was a manager, and the rest was history.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember when you had that again? I'm sorry, did you say a time frame on that?
Well, the first one with Robert Gibson had to be, I would say, 1980.
Okay.
Maybe 80, 81. Yeah, 81, I would say.
Okay.
No, 80, somewhere in there. And then 6 months after that, it was Paul Orndorff.
Got it.
And and then Ole called me back to Georgia, and that would have been maybe latter part of 82 and 83. I was managing all the Spoiler and Arn and Bourne and all them guys, and then the Road Warriors came in 83.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess there's one thing that none of us can understand like you can, Paul. Talk about just what it felt like when the Road Warriors were at their absolute peak. How did that ride feel for you? I mean, was it a proud dad, or was it like a righteous brother with them? How did you feel during that time?
The unit that we had, the bond that we had, it just felt right.
Yeah.
It was, I knew how good it was, and I knew before they knew. I knew that they had it. They had the it factor. They had the look. They had the moves in the ring. They had the interview. And they had they had the presence. And I knew it, but they didn't know it. But eventually they learned it. They saw it for themselves, that they had the it too.
Yeah.
And just by how we could book ourselves everywhere, we were such an attraction that we didn't even need the belts. We were just an attraction. And much like Hulk Hogan was at first.
Yeah, yeah. You were the Hulk Hogan of tag teams, I think.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Huge attraction. Yeah, just put us on the card, and the house would go up 1/3 wherever we went.
Where do you think now you always hear about the Road Warriors pop. Where do you think you ever heard like the biggest Road Warriors pop ever?
Oh, it was always Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Because they always said Chicago was their hometown.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, Chicago would always give you a big pop.
Yeah. Man.
I get chills thinking about it.
I know. And they're talking about this.
But Minneapolis, too, because, that was home.
Yeah, right.
And we'd get huge pop. It'd be pretty close to a tie between Chicago and Minneapolis whenever we wrestled there.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Well, your time has been incredible today with this, Paul. We always end the show with one question. Take it away, Sheik.
So, Paul, you can answer this from perspective as a wrestler or manager, or you give us a little of both. If you had to look back on your career and you had to say that was my favorite match I was ever a part of, what would that be?
Well, I would have to say, let's see. I would have to say, I forget what we called the match, though. It was a cage match.
War Games?
War Games, yeah.
Yes.
The War Games matches. And probably the one where JJ got his shoulder blown out.
Oh, yeah.
That's a favorite of mine, too. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the matches were so good. And Dusty had a lot to do with that because he had a tremendous brain for the business, and he could put together matches and come up with stuff, and I would have to say the War Games because everybody was in it. JJ was in it, I was in it, and then all the guys, and it told such a story. Where everybody else is in a cage, and then they get to go into the ring, and the match ends up being, 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys would jump off of the top. It was huge. It was a lot of experimentation with that kind of building.
We always talk about this, how Hulk looked like a very impatient father waiting on a child to be born outside of the ring. He must have dug a hole in the ground walking and pacing like that. And I know that was just him, but man, how cool that made it feel for him to just be like a bull snorting, waiting to get in. Oh.
Yes. That's for sure. That's Hawk. He was the king of intensity. He, when he said, "Oh, what a rush," that was Hawk.
Yeah.
What a rush.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing that is going to be a rush is the Portland Wrestling Expo with our buddy Captain's Corner and our good buddy here, Precious Paul Ellering. That's going to be on Saturday, February 21st at the Holiday Inn, Portland Airport, 8439 Northeast Columbia Court, Portland, Oregon. I know you're excited, Paul. I know they can't wait to meet you and see you, but y'all get out there and see an absolute legend of the business and the one and only manager of the Road Warriors, Precious Paul Ellering.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
This has been an honor. Yeah. Mr. Ellering, this has been an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Appreciate you, sir.
All right, that was the one and only Precious Paul Ellering. We'll be right back to wrap things up with Sheik and Quinton after these messages on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
The flames of action ignite once again as CHW Pro Wrestling brings the heat to Robertson County. Born from the smoke of Tennessee's dark-fired legacy comes a night of power, pride, and punishment where champions will rise, rivals will burn, and only the strong will survive. Saturday, November 8th, at the Springfield National Guard Armory. Get ready for dark fire domination. CHW heavyweight champion, the all-nighter Austin Wright, defends his title against his arch-rival Zach Austin in a brutal last man standing match. Love and hate collide as AJ Hall fights for his family's honor when he faces Big David in a first time ever Leave My Mama Alone match. The King of the Cave, Yabba Dabba Daddy, returns to prove why he's one of the most beloved and battle-tested competitors on the planet. But standing in his way is none other than CHW co-owner Chris Green, the man the fans love to hate. Green's power won't save him once that bell rings because Yabba Dabba Daddy plans to drag him straight into the Stone Age. Also in action, the Wild Wolves, Stephen Green, Chris Echoes, Zeb Merritt, Jason Xavier, JC Crow, and a whole lot more. Saturday, November 8th at the Springfield National Guard Armory. Doors open at 5. Sponsored by Y'all's Electric, Fondant 12, Mama D's, Dapper Fades, Euro Cafe, and the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast.
All right, we are back with more of the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast. And Sheik and Quinton, guys, that was incredible. You know, obviously we had him for a smaller amount of time than our normal interview, but we are very respectful of the man's time. So we went with what was asked of us. And so that's where things are. I figured to finish out this episode, I was thinking about what if we just talked about, you know, each of our like favorite memory or match or whatever of Paul Ellering and the Road Warriors. And Q, you had all these awesome questions. Why don't you go first on this one?
All right. Well, I really enjoyed it. I said it was, you know, it was really short, like you said, but I enjoyed it. He had a good memory.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's we always like, and yeah, he had a good memory. I guess one of the things I mostly remember about him and the Road Warriors was when they first come to Memphis, and they worked Lawler and Idol, and man, they didn't sell a thing. I remember watching once. You know, what else? Younger wasn't smart, and you know, he's like they can't do anything to hurt these guys. You know,
yeah,
it's crazy, man. And then I was doing. I remember his Georgia stuff. I actually remember watching it. when I was a kid. I never saw his early Memphis stuff until I got mid 2000s. I got the run of 80, 81 Memphis.
Yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't believe. I was like, wow, he was really green, but dude, man, he was so jacked for Memphis.
Yeah.
He just stood out, and it's crazy how big, he was. I mean, you'd have guys come through, that would just seem, I don't know, something about him. He really, at that time period, I guess, there was really nobody in the territory that was really jacked at all,
Yeah, I know.
And so he really stood out that time period, that 1980 time period. I don't think of anybody. Trying to think if there was anybody have the body. I mean, I don't think there was anybody down there who really had a body during that 1980 time period.
Right.
So he stuck out big time,
I mean, he's definitely an acolyte, a superstar, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's just another one that kind of took on that similar persona, that rap. I mean, he's so good on the microphone, just golly.
Oh, when he left, later on, and I'm going to post the video of the only really interview I found of him in Portland. He was shucking and jiving on that one, buddy.
I know, you shared that with me. That was awesome.
Yeah, he did, because he watched, because I think when he was in Portland was at 82, I think.
Yeah.
So from 80 to 82, because you watch his 80 stuff, especially when he first got to Memphis, he couldn't talk at all. He started, I guess, being around Jimmy Hardy, picked up. Toward the end of his time, he was talking. But by the time he got to Portland, he could really talk.
Yeah, yeah. And it's crazy to think of him not being able to talk at one point, but it's true,
Yeah,
it's true.
yeah.
Yeah, he was great. What about you, Sheik? What's your favorite Road Warriors Paul Ellering memory?
I mean, sometimes it's maybe just the interviews that they would do with Paul was, there was intensity with the Road Warriors. Animal would always, come in and kind of start it off and, kind of say what was going to happen. And then the intensity would be ramped up with Hawk. And then a lot of times Paul would close it with like a poignant, like little answer. And so that's always cool to me. Of course, the scaffold match that he mentioned, and the war game stuff that he was actually involved in when JJ was with the Horsemen. Those are great memories. If I had to look at a match that I don't know how much, I can't remember how much he was involved with this match, but there was it Starrcade 87? They faced Tully and Arn in a match, and it was a good match.
Yeah.
And there was a DQ. I'm pretty sure Horseman got DQ. That happened a lot. I mean, like, that's probably a dusty finish. I mean, as people would say.
Yeah.
So nobody looks weak there, but that's probably one of my favorite matches.
Yeah.
It's great stuff. I mean, like I said before the interview, like and he talked about it in the interview, like how he like set their schedules and said, okay, you need off this day and this day, and we're going to work here, here, and here, and here, here, and here, and everything like that. It's so cool to see that, and he was a mouthpiece for him. Like, Hawk was the better talker of the two, Animal and Hawk, but like it was always Hawk wasn't very eloquent though. Like, so it was good to have like Paul Ellering in there that could like gracefully say something like in like a way that made you like intimidated, but gracefully intimidated or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah.
It smoothed it out at the end.
Yeah.
Smooth it on out after Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, just great memories all around, I'm pinching myself still. So,
yeah, I mean, it's a huge deal. We've never had somebody that's on a personal, have we, Mount Rushmore? I mean, I've talked to Jerry Lawler on a different show, but
I mean, Ted Arcidi's on your figure Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, fair enough. So, I mean, it's kind of, there you go. Okay, good point. But so I guess one of my favorite memories is you and I seeing Paul manage the Road Warriors in '89 in NWA WCW in Bristol, Virginia at the Viking Hall. That's obviously one great memory. But, just I always liked the fact that Paul felt like, it almost felt like he had leashes on these guys. And, now that we hear the story more, that I will definitely say, a lot of people question it because Paul's involvement wasn't as strong in it, but I did really enjoy the scaffold match with the Midnight Express a lot. But yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that he brought up the War Games as well. It kind of worked out perfectly because, we were limited on time and limited on questioning ability. And, so I will say probably my favorite is probably just maybe one of them 6-man matches with the Russians or something,
Oh, man, that was good too.
Yeah. Like I just loved all that together, or maybe the Powers of Pain with Ivan. I know they're not going to be great matches, but I mean, I was watching a little bit of WWE last night, and I was noticing how like so many clotheslines now and so many power moves, and we heard Paul tell us, in the interview about how they kind of changed the business for power moves, and Quinton's like, the first clothesline I ever saw was Hulk, and I was like, man, that's so true. I was like, if you look, their imprint on the business is it's still there today, that, I mean, if you watch a Rusev match or somebody like that, and
hey, Randy Orton does the power slam, Animals power slam almost every match.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And it's a pretty one too, but
yeah.
I got to be partial to Animal had that smooth turn on the power slam, just like Double A did on the spine buster. Yeah. So it was just that.
I've never seen a spine buster as sweet as Double A's. I mean, it just like it's got the snap and turn to it. It's like,
yeah.
Yep.
That Batista didn't get with it. You know? Yeah. I mean,
no disrespect, just he didn't have it with that. But it was.
Yeah, that's a good one, but no disrespect whatsoever. It's just like nobody can do the DDT like Jake, Mm-hmm. Even Raven's got an incredible DDT, but it's not as good as Jake's, It's just something about the creator of it. But anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to share some thoughts and our favorite memories of Paul Ellering and the Road Warriors.
We'll be right back with more Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat to Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at USWApodcast.com.
Hi, this is Mike Needham, host of the Reckless Abandon podcast with Mike Needham. We invite you to jump on your favorite podcast platform and search for the Reckless Abandon podcast and give us a listen. I'm sometimes joined by a part-time podcaster, part-time co-host, and full-time wife, Tiffany Nicole. We talk wrestling, we talk pop culture, we talk local events, local happenings in West Tennessee, and a ton of other stuff. But be sure to check out the Reckless Abandon podcast. Find us on Facebook. Also, look up the Microgroup Podcasting family on Facebook and see some of our other podcasts we have out there. Until next time, make good choices and always remember, no dollar, no dice.
So a few more things I want to talk about. One thing I want to do here is I got to thank our people. I forget to thank people that actually help us out and really mean something to the show. And I want to throw a shout out to one special person specifically, a guy named Mac A. Ronan. Now, I don't know his shoot name. That might be it. And it's kind of cool if it is. but at Mac A. Ronan on Instagram. Let me just say this. Instagram, it doesn't, not much for us. It allows me to put music with a photo is about the best part of Instagram for us. Because just nobody, I can't figure it out. Maybe I'm not good at it. Maybe I don't do it correctly. Maybe there's something else that I could be doing, but whatever, nothing is clicking on Instagram. You know, so Nick from Captain's Corner will obviously like us and share our stuff on there. But we have a one-man Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling Army, and he supported the Live and in Color podcast, but also he has transferred his support to this podcast as well, and that is Mac A. Ronan. Brother shares, likes, comments, just that kind of stuff helps us know that we're doing what we need to be doing. You know, we like to hear feedback on this stuff. Sometimes just a little more feedback is awesome. So we appreciate that. So thank you, Mac. I really appreciate you, brother. Like I said, that man is basically our entire Instagram account because he's about the only one that shows up on the reg. And if it sounds like I'm calling y'all out, I'm not. I'm giving props to someone who's helping us. I don't expect anything more from anyone. I greatly appreciate everyone who does that. But, Mac, you're the man, brother. You know, we're just doing our thing over here. Never meaning no harm. We thank you all tremendously for listening. We're growing in downloads every week, and we can't thank you all enough. Literally, we're nothing without you all. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Also, you know, we love working with other podcasters and content creators, but things in that area can get dicey when content becomes limited, or maybe I should say mutually specific. How about that? And that's exactly why I like to create content. I'd like to offer any podcaster, content creator, anything like that are listening to me right now. I'm opening the quote unquote forbidden door. I've already got some ideas open and flowing with some other folks, but if you want to work with us, let's figure out what that is and see how we can make it happen. Open challenge, okay? What do you got? We ain't out of ideas. We're looking to create new ones. Make them good. That's the only rule, okay? If you got an idea, you want to work with us, like I said, doors are open. Holler at us. Let us know what you're thinking. Maybe we can make it happen. Other than that, just sit back and enjoy the ride. We got some really good stuff coming up, I promise. All right, so after that, I'm going to go with this, all right? One more time, that is Captain's Corner, Portland Wrestling Expo, 2 Saturday, February 21st, Holiday Inn, Portland Airport, 8439 Northeast Columbia Court, Portland, Oregon. See our guests today, Paul Ellering, Lynn Denton, the Grappler, Dave Sullivan, Joey Jackson. They're going to be putting Buddy Rose, Don Koss, if Quinton has his way, Tom Peterson in the Hall of Fame up there. So y'all go up there and check that out. If you're in the Portland area, if you're in a 300-mile radius, come get me and take me. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, it's an incredible time. I know it. Last year was awesome. Don't miss this year. Say hey to our buddy. Tell him Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling sent you. Guys, that's all I got. I'm out of breath or out of words or whatever. But do y'all have anything before we go?
Just thanks again to Captain's Corner. Love it. It's the people they've been getting for us, and we can't thank them enough. And Nick, you're awesome. We appreciate everything you do. And that's it for me.
What about you, Q?
All I got is go buy a shirt.
That's right. That's right. Pro Wrestling Tees and another t-shirt site is coming soon. Right now, Pro Wrestling Tees. Buy a t-shirt. Help us out. Love y'all. Mean it. So, for the one and only Precious Paul Ellering, the Plastic Sheik Jared Street, the Territory Wrestling Guru Quinton Quarisma, and myself, this has been Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. We'll see y'all next time.
Don't forget.
Ladies and gentlemen, we told you that this young man was coming into the Pacific Northwest, and what a way to start out here in the Northwest with a win over the Crusher, Stan the Man Stasiak. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Ellering. You know Dutch. Everywhere I go, the people, they all want to know. They say, who is this man? Who is this man with the body of a Greek god? Who is this man that has the eye of a tiger? Who is this man that is the desire of every lady that has never lived on this green earth. And I say I am Precious Paul, the living doll, the master of disaster, the master blaster. And from 8 to 80, Precious drives him crazy. Now I wear tassels on my feet, and my hair is always neat. I'm so lean in the waist, and as you can tell, I am so pretty in the face. But mark my words, this body writes no checks it cannot cash. In the annals of history, I have been a world champion. I have held a world record in weightlifting, and I back up from no man on this earth. And lest you forget that I am the best thing to ever happen to the great Northwest. Look at this body. I can't believe it myself. Whoa! Look at this body. Pure, unadulterated power. Power. Need I say more? I could just come out here and just stand and pose. Nothing more need be said.
Well, rather poetic individual with a 20-inch arm. I guess he can say just about anything he wants to. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after a word from my friend and yours, Tom Peterson.
With a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life.
We'll see you later.
This has been a James Rock Street production.